back to the podcast. You know, we got me, we got Ryan, and we got a special new guest for y'all, my roommate in college, LB. LB, I just want you to give a quick introduction to yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and stuff.
Alright, yeah, so I'm LB. I'm from Philadelphia. Nice to be talking to you listeners. I'm Zayd's roommate. I go to San Diego State, and I'm currently pursuing a business administration degree. Some things that I like include basketball, just hanging out with friends, going to the beach, and I'm a generally chill person. Yeah.
Let's do it. Alright, LB, starting you off with our first question. What was your welcome to college moment?
My welcome to college moment would be probably when I first got on campus and it was a date and there was just a bunch of girls with just like straight bikinis, like just walking around campus. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Like a random Sunday afternoon.
Just like on a random Sunday, like people are just like doing whatever they want.
Yeah, no, that's how it'd be though.
No, it's low-key crazy.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, what about yours?
This is pretty tough for me because I feel like coming into college, you don't really know what to expect. So I definitely haven't seen that. I mean, I'm at USC, so I wouldn't say it's as much of like a beach culture as like it probably is down there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say like academics wise, my welcome to college moment. It was first semester my classes were pretty easy, so there was nothing like crazy I had to worry about there. But second semester, I took my first accounting class, financial accounting, and then I had like a midterm, and like I got on the midterm, and it was like nothing like what like the practice test was like. And like up until this point, like high school isn't really like, there's a lot of hand holding that kind of like want you to like get everything right, like get you through that. So like I was kind of at a point where I didn't really know like what to expect, and like I was in there and I was like, I thought my career was over, you know. I was in there sweating, like I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I remember I walked out that class, called my brother, I was like, yeah, like I think I'm done for, like I'm about to fail this class. But I mean, thankfully like it ended up being fine, like the curve and stuff, like I was able to help out, and obviously like I learned like how to deal with stuff like that. But yeah, outside of that stuff, like it's really different living on your own as opposed to like kind of growing up like with parents. And I had an older brother too, so I kind of always had that like role model per se where I can like learn from what he's done in his life and just kind of be able to take steps towards like where I want to be, and just being separate from all of that. There's a lot of learning that comes with it, and it's definitely good to go through. So
yeah. No, mine's definitely a little different than both of your guys's. But I would say my welcome to college moment is, so we're living in like these like dorm halls, right? So it's like a shared bathroom with everyone. So you know, you got your room, but then you got the bathroom down the hall. And I remember one morning, it might have been night, I think it was morning though, and I walked in the bathroom, you know, trying to brush my teeth, and I go in and the sinks are just filled with throw up, and it's like red, it's vile, it's nasty, and I'm like, oh no. And I walk into the bathroom to, you know, use the bathroom, and I just see the toilet's also filled with throw up. I'm like, bro. And it's like going from the sink to the toilet, so I'm like, yeah, like, guys, you're gonna walk in. Then a week later, I go to take a shower, and I open the shower door, and they're just feces on the shower floor, and I'm just like, guys, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah, shout out to janitors though, like
I know they're working overtime. I felt so bad
but
every
like,
time. Yeah,
we see y'all, we appreciate all y'all, and like wouldn't have none of this without them. So
yeah. All right, so LB, one of the other reasons we had you on this podcast is because, you know, 2026 is coming. You know, you've never been much of a guy centered around health per se, so we're just gonna help you lock in, right? So I would say first, just tell us like, what is the one thing that's holding you back most from locking in?
I'd say probably, I think what's holding me back, I think I need to get more in the gym. Like I think it first like starts with just like your physical health. Being active, going to the gym would be a good start to kickstart my locking in.
Yeah. And for all y'all, you know, out there, y'all gotta understand though, like LB's a pretty athletic dude. Like, you know, we hooped before, we gone to the gym before, like LB can like, you know, he can hoop, all that stuff, but it's just like we need to see more of that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's a great start. Ryan, what you think?
Yeah, no, I think like health is kind of like a feedback loop per se, where it's like if you feel good, your body's going to register that you feel good, and you're going to continue doing the things that'll keep you feeling in that way. And like as you said, like exercise is like a great start, because like if you wake up at 7 a.m., tell yourself you're going to go to the gym, like you're not really going to want to do it, right? Especially if you're operating on like not as much sleep, you're going to be like, I'm going to go back to sleep, like get my rest. But then once you get up and go and you get that workout in, your body will feel great, you'll feel great physically, you'll feel great mentally, and then that'll kind of propel you forward and like make you realize that you want to like continue adding to do these things, whether it's like fixing your diet to be healthier, or like keep adding in these habits that will continue the cycle of achieving that idea of being locked in, dialed in. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a process, and you can start whenever you want. That's the most beautiful part about it. So.
Yeah. No, and then the one other thing is the food. So, you know, as college, you know, it's kind of annoying, you know, have to cook all the time, all that stuff. But, you know, some of the things that are like easy, like we could cut them out. Like, let me think. You know, sometimes I'll get back and I'll just see LB, you know, munching on some Costco pizza, where it's like,
Costco pizza's fire, guys.
you don't know what's in there. Like, I'm scared. Why is it like $1 for like a big slice? Like,
Yeah,
or,
well, I mean, that's not wholesale money.
Yeah, no, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Pay a subscription to get access.
you know, honestly, LB does be locked in sometimes with his food. Like he'll make ground beef tacos, burritos, like all that stuff. But I think we just need to like probably like introduce some more recipes, like some chicken here and there. You know, some steak. We would make steak here and there. You know, some eggs in the morning maybe.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I could definitely start locking in more.
Yeah.
Next semester, hopefully we will dial in more. Maybe do some trips to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Maybe go to Sweet Green instead of Chipotle.
Yeah.
We'll really like try and dial in next semester.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. So we got a promise, guys. So you guys hold them accountable. Spam in the comments. Be like, LB, time to lock it.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic. I got some written down right here. Okay. Now we're gonna be talking about the GOAT debate. So you know, as you can see, Ryan got on his Lakers jersey right here. LB has some different views, so I'm gonna let them hash it out. You know, I do have an opinion. I'm not, you know, too invested in this, other than some other people. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, we gotta let the guest start, so I'm gonna hand it over to LB. Let him go.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. First, starting off, we need to get into this propaganda started by LeBron James and his fans on his 10-point per game record. We have to look into the facts here. LeBron James did not. His 1,000+ games is not a consecutive record. Counting the regular season, we all know that postseason games are the most important games for basketball players. So why are we not counting postseason games towards his 10-point per game record? As obviously regular season games do not matter as much as postseason games.
Okay.
No, I mean,
rebuttal.
Well, the crazy part there is if you're talking about the 2011 Finals series where he scored 8 points in the finals game, where like admittedly that was a bad game. You know, we all have bad games. It happens to the GOATs. I mean, greatest like MJ, who you're arguing, like he got bailed out by Steve Kerr in the finals. You know, many times. I mean, Tony Kukoc had to come in clutch lots of times. So you know, it's a team sport, and without the full effort of the team, then no one would be at where they're at right now. So that's a huge thing. Another thing is, if we take that game out of the streak, he would still have the longest streak in NBA history. So that's another thing that people are overlooking. It would have went from 2011 to 2025, damn near 2026. So people try to use that against him. And it's like, okay, like even if you were to throw that in there, like it wouldn't even matter. Like he's still been doing it for the longest, the best for the longest, and I think a lot of times people they've kind of become numb to the idea of longevity, because I know we've seen TB12 do it in football, Tom Brady of course, but the idea of being able to take that physical toll on your body for that many years and do it at a consistently great level really needs to be factored in and used as an argument, as opposed to people trying to argue it against him and say, oh, these are the years where he's been trailing off, you know, not doing well in the playoffs, getting swept. I really think at this point he's playing with house money and proving how consistently great he is and how no one's been able to do it like he has. Year 23, still dropping 20 plus a game, clutch moments, and like this is coming off nursing multiple injuries, and you know, I could go into all the all-time stats and all the rings, the MVPs, and everything he's done, but I think his resume speaks for itself, and we're all going to be grateful that we got to see him play, and it's going to be a sad day when he's eventually retired and no longer in our beautiful league. But I mean, we got baby goat right here, ready to take the reins after. So that's a whole nother debate. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll let you respond in just a second. But, as I said before, I don't have too much stake in this argument. But I will just say, I do personally believe that LeBron's the GOAT. And I would just advise all you guys out there that maybe think Michael Jordan's the GOAT, just pull up some full games of, Michael Jordan playing in the 80s and 90s. Like, just watch who he's playing. I know they tell all these stories like, oh, he was Black Jesus, like, oh, all that stuff. But if you really watch these games, like, it does not compare to basketball nowadays. Like, your average college team could probably beat some of these NBA teams. Just the skill level, the speed, the athleticism, the pace. And it's no knock on these players. I mean, like, they were literally plumbers. Like, they literally had other jobs to fulfill in their lives, Basketball wasn't as popular. They couldn't grind their whole life to play basketball. So it was just a different era, in my opinion. But that's what I would also say what LeBron has done in this era is more impressive than what Jordan has done in a previous era. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, adding on to people saying that Jordan was playing against plumbers and people that had second jobs, that is just factually not true. People in the 80s in the NBA, that was their only job. Their job was the NBA. And when you say go back, turn on the tape, I can think of games where Jordan scored 63 against the prime Boston Celtics, one of the greatest NBA teams in that era, with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, all these great players. Like, that obviously is not a plumber squad. Like, that's a great team. And I would say LeBron James, you put LeBron James on that 1985 Bulls team, he gets swept. So I don't know where people are getting this connotation that Jordan was playing against plumbers, but it's just simply not true.
Okay.
And also adding on to Jordan's postseason records, he has never had a game in the postseason where he didn't score 10 plus points, opposed to LeBron where he got smacked around by Dirk Nowitzki in the 2011 finals and just looked like an absolute bum. He was getting outplayed by Jason Terry, gentlemen. Jason Terry. That's all I have to say.
Okay, all right, Ron, one more rebuttal, and then we're moving on to the next topic.
Because I mean, like, look. First of all, people using points as the only measurement for like success is factually incorrect. Because obviously, there's a lot more that goes into basketball than scoring. And it's funny that you bring up the 10-point streak as a reason for Michael Jordan being successful when you're using it as a way to bash LeBron for doing it in the regular season. So that's funny on itself. Second of all, LeBron has the most games ever in the postseason where he leads his team in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. MJ was not even coming close to that because he had Rodman for defense, Pippen for pretty much everything. We all remember when MJ retired, when he was actually suspended for gambling, and that's why he had to go to the MLB and be really, really bad in the minors. I know if you put LeBron in the NFL, he would probably be putting up Kyle Pitts types numbers. I know that's nothing crazy. But I mean, he probably would. He was the number one football player in the state, but he was just the chosen one in basketball, so he had to pick that path.
Yeah.
I think people kind of underestimate the true impact that LeBron had. Like, obviously, when he left the Cavs, team went completely off the rails. Jordan retires. They go from winning 56 games to 55 games. I mean, that squad, and people use the super team argument against LeBron because he moved places. I honestly think that's harder to do than sticking with one dynasty your entire career, having the stability of one of the greatest coaches of all time, two other Hall of Famers and great role players that were able to assist him in all of his deficiencies. And the final thing that I'll bring up is postseason success, 6-0 in the finals. Would you rather get to the finals and lose or get bounced in the first round by a team that is probably less talented? I don't know. I think the 4-6 is more of an indictment on the ability of LeBron's teammates to be able to help him get past the super teams of the era, and I think that we should celebrate his ability to dominate the East for so long, especially now when we haven't had a repeat champion in, 7-8 years. So once all the time passes and the revisionist history is gone, I think people will truly begin to see what we were witnessing, and what we were witnessing is the greatest player to ever grace the earth. So.
All right, so that's that. We got our debate out. I want you guys to tell us in the comments who y'all think won this debate. What do y'all think? Who's the basketball GOAT? All right, so we're talking about the highest levels of basketball, but now let's segue to some of the lowest levels of basketball. Okay, so to contextualize this, me, Ryan, and our other friend were at 24 Hour Fitness yesterday, and long story short, this 30-year-old dude basically starts beefing with a 15-year-old high school kid, which is not uncommon if you go to 24 Hour Fitness runs. think that's why so many 24-hour fitness basketball courts are shut down. But yeah, basically it ended with a 15-year-old kid going home because he didn't want to get hurt and telling the 30-year-old to get a job. So I just want to hear about your guys' opinions, 24-hour fitness runs. Maybe you have a crazy story that happened. Maybe you got into a fight with someone, an altercation. What do you guys think?
Yeah, getting into 24-hour fitness is like, you can really get any type of experience at 24-hour fitness basketball runs. There's not too many by me, but at like the local YMCA, people, they be playing with their heart on their sleeve. They live and they're very fierce competitors, and the games can get very fierce. People are ready to throw down after their 9 to 5 over a simple pickup basketball game.
Yeah.
They really love the sport of basketball, and it's nice to see that it's still fiery in older competitors.
I like that. Right, what you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely interesting to see like the different types of people of like all facets of life that come into play. I think it's a very cool thing that like one sport can unite so many different types of people, like through various all skill levels, like all playing on the same field, just for the love of the game. I will say one of the biggest problems with 24-hour fitness basketball and like public runs in general is some people are there to just get some cardio in, some people are there just because they want to get some hoops in, and then you have like a series of people who are treating it like it's Game 7 of the finals. And I think that disparity is what really can take away from the experience, because I played basketball for pretty much my whole life, and obviously I love playing. But if I'm at 24-hour fitness or like some local runs and there's people beefing over a call for 5 minutes or like chirping back and forth and like getting personal for no reason, then at some point it's kind of like, do I really want to be here, or would I be having more fun if I was just getting shots at on an empty court?
Yeah.
So to all the people out there who are obviously very passionate about the sport and really enjoy, playing, and obviously are competitive enough to want to win every game, I would say maybe turn it down a notch a little bit, less on the personal attacks, less hacking, less starting fights, getting in fights. It's just all enjoy the game we love and go from there.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I mean, maybe if there's refs at 24, the games go a little smoother, but obviously that's not feasible. But anyway, kind of going into our next topic, we have, how do we think the world's going to end? Okay, so a little context for this. Theo Long came out on a podcast, and he basically said he thought the world was going to end in a fight between black people and drones. Now, we probably all don't think that's the case, but, it's interesting to think about, AI, robots, maybe an asteroid hits the Earth, maybe we destroy all our natural resources and it's just nothing left for our grandkids. But what do y'all think? How is the world going to end? I'll let Ryan start with this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great question because I think the world ending can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. I think for the sake of what we're talking here, it would just be the end of human civilization to the point where it's uninhabitable and we're not able to continue developing intelligent life to the point that we have until today. And I feel like that will most likely be the case by the depletion of natural resources, whether that's through climate change, nuclear war, or just the continuing cycle of humans overusing what has been provided to them on this one Earth. Because at the end of the day, this is the only place we'll be able to inhabit. I don't think people, at least not in our lifetimes or really anytime soon, will be able to do cross-galactic exploration and moving people into different parts of the galaxy. I could be wrong, if that's the case, then, so be it. But I think if certain conflicts were to arise or humans will continue to overexert the materials and resources that our max capacity is at, then I think that could lead to the extinction of the human race and then pretty much the end of intelligent life. But unless something crazy with like AI, robots happens, which I don't really see being the case since humans can control that for the most part as it is right now. Obviously don't want to jinx anything. I do think just losing what we have, what the Earth has provided us, is probably the way that we all go out. So
yeah. Ali, what about you?
Yeah, adding on to Ryan, I'd say the most likely would be some type of nuclear Armageddon where just like too many nuclear missiles are being sent and we just blow ourselves off the face of the earth. But getting into like a more interesting, maybe like random would be, I'd say everyone gets abducted by aliens. I feel like that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. There's an infinite amount of other planets out in the universe, so I'm not going to deny the existence that there might be aliens out there with higher intelligence than us. So I feel like that'd be an interesting way for the world to end. Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, no, that's definitely super interesting. I feel like I would personally be down if an alien wanted to come abduct me, like, sure, honestly. Because, like, that's like, you're never going to experience that again and you'll probably die, but, like, I think it would be pretty cool. But yeah, what I think, honestly, is, like, no matter, like, kind of uniting all these ideas is, like, we're going to end up ending our own race, which is kind of a sad thing to talk about or say, but I think it's just the truth. I don't think the Earth is going to get swallowed up by the sun, unfortunately. I don't think aliens are going to abduct us, even though it would be kind of cool. I think we're going to do something where it's like either nuclear war, like he said, or like using up all our resources, and it's just going to be like there won't be anything left for us to, rely on and live. And yeah, while that is kind of a sad outlook, I think it's the most realistic. Hopefully it's not in a long time though. But on a more positive note, let's wrap this all up by saying what is the top 3 things on our Christmas wish list. So, Christmas is around the corner. Y'all probably celebrating Christmas at home. If you hear something, you want to get us something, that's cool too. Send it. But yeah, I'll let LB go first on this. Top 3 things.
All right, yeah. So this year for Christmas, I think I'm asking for some clothes. I think I'm getting a new speaker, so that'll be kind of cool. And for the people on the East Coast, I'm getting a bunch of Wawa gift cards, if you guys know what that is. It's a gas station and they make some of the best sandwiches that you'll ever have in your life. So look up Wawa hoagies. They're very delicious. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Ryan.
Yeah, it's a kind of tough one because I feel like, once you like a grown man, like, can you really be making a Christmas list? Like,
yeah, no, I get you.
But I would just say like clothes is a big thing. Like I really, especially now that it's like, obviously it's not that cold in California, but like I still like wearing hoodies, crew necks, like stuff like that. Definitely can add. And then basketball related, new Kobe's would be very nice, even if they're reps. As long as they look good, I'll wear them. I actually did order a pair of reps recently, so once they come in, if y'all can figure out that they're fake, then kudos to you, but they look pretty good. And then, last thing I would add in is a Sweet Green gift card.
Oh, that's good.
I've been a big Sweet Green guy recently. One opened up really close to where I live, and yeah, it's been my go-to, so shout out Sweet Green.
That's fire. Yeah, so if I had to go with one, I'm going to go with one more expensive than they went. This is a little unrealistic, but if it happens, it happens. I would probably say for the first one, I want some type of fitness tracker, so either like an Oura Ring or a Whoop watch where you can like track your sleep and like exercise, activity, all that stuff. I feel like that's like the next step for me for leveling up my health, even though it's like obviously not necessary. I think that'll be pretty cool. And then the second thing I would say is, me and LB, our room at SDSU is looking kind of bland right now. We just had some people over and I was like, dang, there could definitely be more stuff on the walls and like, more welcoming environment. So I'd probably say like decor for that, or, just like some room stuff, maybe some plants, posters, all that stuff you can put on the walls and make our room look better. And then the last thing I would say, it's a tough one. I don't want to go with clothes, because, you guys both already said that. I would probably go with, I definitely need some new basketball shoes, so kind of like Ryan said, my other one's getting worn out, and yeah, maybe some Kobe's. I miss Kyrie's, KD's when the new ones come out, but yeah. Anyways, that wraps up our podcast. Thank you all for watching if you got to this point, and yeah, stay tuned for a new video coming out soon, and I hope you guys all have a good Christmas. See you guys.